Hey guys, it's International Women's Day and I'm out on a walk on the beach before dinner for me. I've given my kids dinner, they're at home with hubby, but I just wanted to share with you a perspective because with my story there's not a lot of women who share theirs, but yet there's so many women who've experienced almost the exact same thing. And I think that we need to talk about it more. I think that we need to get this out in the world and to have no shame around what happens, but actually to understand it better. And what I'm talking about is what happens in the workplace when you become a mother. I was told, I came back from maternity leave and I was actually told that I had a choice of a demotion. And actually that was it. There was no other choice. That was just the choice. They'd decided for me that I wasn't going to be capable of holding down my job that I'd done for the last 6 years, that I'd done after I'd had my first baby and came back, done it part-time as a mother, but they told me that I wasn't capable of doing my job, or that they didn't think it was suitable for me to be doing it as a mother, even though I'd proven so many times, time and time again, that I was absolutely capable and more. I was actually a little bit bored, to be honest. It wasn't quite challenging enough. So that choice, or that lack of choice, was just incredibly hard to take, but I had already decided I was going to move into my own business. And what changed? So here's the perspective that I was told by my boss, the CEO, because I was at the time head of marketing. I was at the top, the top of the department. Like, I'd worked really hard to get there. I spent 20 years. I thought I'd done everything I needed to have that place and to hold on to it, no matter if I did take time off to have a child. He said to me, your priorities will change. And I was like, what are you talking about? I haven't worked this hard to get where I am right now, to throw it all away just because I'm also now becoming a mother and having children. It's not an either or. It doesn't have to be a choice of either be a mum or have a career. Like, how ridiculous is that? I haven't lost my brain. I haven't had an operation when the baby came out. My brain didn't come out with the baby. Like, I am still super capable, and I'm actually even more capable because now I'm a crazy multitasking matronity, whatever you want to call it. I was so powerful and empowered, and yet I actually wasn't even given the conversation, the chance to have a chat about it, the chance to talk about my role in my own role. It was crazy. And the thing is that my perspective did change. He thought that my commitment would be less, but it was not at all. However, my value of my time was incredibly different to what it had been before. Before, I would work such long hours. I did everything for this company. And all the others before it. I thought that putting in more hours, more time, more hard work would get me where I wanted to go, and then I could have the life I wanted. And I did that over and over again. And here I was, just being proven it didn't matter that I'd done all that. It didn't matter about all the success I'd created and got for them. They were dismissing me as someone who was able to hold down an executive job simply because I became a mother. Not because I'd proven I couldn't do it. I was absolutely there and able to do it. And that value, that time value, that was so different for me. That is the one thing that I look back now, and that's why I created my business. But it's also why I created it the way that I did, because I was so determined that I would have my cake and eat it too. I was going to be a mum. I was going to work part-time. I was going to live where I wanted to live. I was going to have all of the things that I wanted in my life. Be there for my kids, picking them up from school. Be able to drop them off in the morning, take them to after-school activities, to sports. The stuff that was important to me. But it didn't mean that I had to give up my career, my profession, fulfillment, achievement, all of that stuff. Like, that was still me. I'd studied, I'd worked for so long, and I loved it. Like, why couldn't I have both? And that's what I thought. I was like, why are these people telling me that I can't? That is absolute nonsense. Of course I can. And, boo-hoo to them because they lose, right? They lose out. they don't believe in women once they have a child. They don't believe that they're capable of holding down these jobs and careers when they absolutely, yeah, there might be some different things that we look for, but every single woman I have ever hired who's been a mother and has worked part-time has been incredibly productive. The amount of stuff they get done in part-time hours is what another employee gets done in full-time hours. There is no evidence at all to show that any woman is less productive as a mother. There may be times some people may feel like they can't do it all, and that's fine. Everybody's different. But to have that decided for you, I think is crazy. What kind of a world are we living in to be there? I think that there's no shame in somebody telling you that you have to be demoted or that you can't have your job back or being made redundant. Do you know what it is? It's their small-mindedness. It's their lack of perception. It is their loss, because you are not the reason why they're doing it. It is their history. It's what they have been brought up with. It's their perception in general. And it wouldn't matter if it was you, if it was someone else. You couldn't have done more. You couldn't have achieved more to change their mind. And I know that because I tried it. I didn't start having kids until I was 35 because I thought that would put a big enough buffer there to show that I was absolutely worthwhile, and it wouldn't matter if I took time off on maternity leave, I could come back to my job. Well, I was wrong. It doesn't matter what you've done. It doesn't matter how much you could have done. And I want to say to any woman who's listening right now, who's been through a scenario where you've been let go or made to let go or given no choice about your job or your career when you came back from the workplace, it is not about you. You don't have to feel ashamed. You don't have to feel like it's based on your ability or anything like that, because 100% is not. And taking that into business, because this is when a lot of us start our own business, right? It's like, well, the opportunity to do what I want there isn't there. It's not there in the right way. It's not there the way that's going to work for me, because they either want me to act like I'm not a mum and be the same person I was before I had kids, or not do it at all. There's no kind of in between. But you can take that experience into your own business and have even more success in less hours. Like, that is 100% possible. And it just starts with believing in it. It starts with the confidence in yourself that you can do it, and valuing yourself as well. Like, it's not about a dollar value. This is about your value that you can bring to somebody, to someone else as a service provider. What is the value of that service to them? And let's not think that you're starting from the bottom again. You're not starting from scratch. You're starting from the place where you already are, with all of that experience, all of that wealth of knowledge, skills that you've built up over those years. And this is where I find so many, including myself, have really struggled, because your confidence is shattered after somebody not believing in you after everything that you've done. Well, maybe they don't, well, you feel like they're not believing in you, but they've just dismissed the idea, right? And I just want you to, if you're struggling with that right now, to look at it from the outside perspective and know that it's not about you. They would have treated anybody in that role the same way. And I've seen it happen time and time and time again. So let's have the conversation. Let's change this bias against mothers in the workplace, because all we need is the ability to shine, the ability to give everything that we have, to give that value to the best of our ability. And yeah, it might need to be flexible with timing. So what? It might need to be done in ways that suit our lifestyle. And the sooner that the world decides that they can support that and do it, the better off everybody will be. But in the meantime, we can do it for ourselves in our own business. We can design our business to suit ourselves, to be something that actually supports us to live the life that we really want to live. Like, we don't have to wait until we've got to some far off, distant view of whatever the future is or success is, to be there and to have that lifestyle. Like, start having it now. You can. It's just about making some strategic choices in how you've designed your business and your service so that you can do that. It's getting really dark. I'm out on the beach. It started off with good light and the sun has dipped below the horizon, and you probably will not be able to see me much anymore. So I'm going to say bye, and I'm going to finish off my walk, go home, put the kids to bed, and enjoy the evening. And I hope you have a wonderful International Women's Day. Thank you so much for hanging out with me, joining in on this live today. I feel really passionate about this, as you can tell. It's why I started my podcast. It's why I share other women's stories all of the time, because I really believe in sharing the incredible value that's draining out of the corporate world, out of every business, where they're just not able to see past that box that you get put in once you're a mother. And to all of the incredible mothers, because once you've just added a whole stack of new skills and amazing abilities on top of what you already had. So you've become an incredible human being, a superhuman, and own it, know it, believe it. You're incredible, and good night.